My name is Sloan Marin, and this is the story of how everything in my family got turned upside down, all because of a text message, a boat, and a whole lot of surprises. But before we start, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our amazing community. Your support means the world to me and my family. Also, drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from and how you're enjoying the story. I love hearing from all of you. Now let's get started. It all started one night at 9:17 p.m. My phone rang. I looked down and saw it was from Jet, my younger brother. His message said, "Sis, you're not good enough for the Marin New Year's party. Stay home." He thought he was being funny. He thought I would feel small. But I didn't. I just wrote back, "Perfect. My party is somewhere else." He didn't know what I meant, but I knew exactly what I was planning. 3 weeks after that rude text, something big happened. I got paid a huge bonus from a brand I worked with. The payment was $80,000. That's more money than I ever had in my life. Instead of wasting it or buying something silly, I made a smart plan. I used the money through a company I made called Graywave LLC. A company can hold money and buy things, and it keeps your stuff safe. And then I bought something giant. A 48-foot yacht. A yacht is a big boat you can live on and sail around. Mine was white and long and strong. It was old but still very fancy. Everyone told me it was a good boat. And I named the boat Gray Gray, which was funny because that was the nickname Jet and my family used to tease me with since I was in 8th grade. They used it to make fun of me, but now it was shiny silver letters on a fancy boat. And I liked it. On December 20th, I climbed to the very top of the boat called the Flybridge and made a TikTok video. One take. No filters. No fancy editing. Just me and the ocean behind me. I wrote a caption, "My own end-of-year spot." I didn't think it would be a big deal. But overnight the video got more than 5 million views. Everyone saw it. Jet saw it. Dad saw it. Mom saw it. Even people I didn't know saw it. My family never liked when I succeeded. They liked when Jet was in the spotlight, not me. So when they saw me on a yacht looking happy and strong, they got mad. Really mad. On December 30th, right before New Year's Eve, something wild happened. I was at the Edgartown Emmett Marina, cleaning up the boat and working on my videos. I saw them coming down the dock. Jet. And another guy in a black hoodie holding a tool bag. They walked fast, angry, like a little army. The man with the black hoodie looked like someone who breaks locks for a living. Dad, whose name is Victor, held fake papers that he thought made him look important. He waved the papers at me like they were magic. I stood in front of the boat. I said, "No docking orders filed. Step off." But they shoved past me. They climbed onto my boat. They hit the cabin door with tools. Bang, bang, bang. Finally, the electronic lock clicked. The door opened a tiny bit. And when they saw who was inside, their mouths fell open. They couldn't believe it. That part comes later. I can tell you this. That moment changed my whole family forever. To understand why this was such a big deal, you need to know what my life was like. I live in a small one-bedroom apartment in Boston. I make videos for brands. Things like makeup, shampoo, tech gadgets, cozy home items. I shoot videos, I edit them, I talk to companies, and I drink loads of tea to stay awake. Most nights I work until the tea runs out. Growing up was different. My family had one rule: Jet came first. Always. Forever. Even when it didn't make sense. Jet was the high school quarterback. He threw for 3,000 yards in his last year. People said he was amazing. Newspapers printed his picture. Colleges sent people to watch him play. Dad worked with the Boosters Club and talked only about Jet at dinner. Mom kept a giant scrapbook of Jet's football life. It was thicker than my college papers. No one asked about me. I was invisible. When I was 10, I asked if I could invite 2 friends to the family New Year's Eve party. Dad laughed. "This isn't a sleepover, Sloan," he said. "It's for donors." So I stayed in my room. I looked out the window and counted fireworks by myself. When I was 12, Jet got a dirt bike for Christmas. I got socks. Mom said, "Athletes need gear." So I filmed Jet's football practices on my little flip phone. I learned how to edit videos to make him look good for scouts. They never asked what I wanted. What I wanted didn't matter. At 15, nothing changed. Jet broke curfew. Dad high-fived him. I missed dinner because I was editing a school project. Mom grounded me. It felt unfair, but that was my normal. Every Sunday my Aunt Tessa called me. She lived in Providence and ran her own business. She never cared about Dad's rules. She was the brave one in the family. She called me Gray Gray, the nickname Jet used to tease me with. She said, "Your turn is coming. Keep going." Her calls were like oxygen. They kept me alive inside. In my senior year, Jet tore his ACL in a big football game. Suddenly, the scouts stopped coming. Dad got quiet. Mom started drinking more wine. I got into Emerson College with a partial scholarship. My parents forgot to come to my graduation. After college, I moved to Boston with 2 bags and a laptop. I was poor, but I made my first sponsored video for a coffee shop. It got 10,000 views and people started noticing me. By 25, I was doing well enough to quit my day job. Meanwhile, Jet, now 21, still lived at home doing odd jobs. Dad paid for his truck. Mom cooked his favorite meals. Jet and his girlfriend Mara were expecting a baby and Dad threw a big party. I got the invite late. When I visited on Thanksgiving, Jet found me in the garage. He said, "You think your little videos make you someone? Dad says influencers peak at 30. I said, "At least I speak on my own dime." He walked away angry. That night, Tessa called. "Don't let them drag you back," she said. "Remember Callum from college? The maritime law guy? Keep his number." So I saved it. December came with cold air and snow. Jet posted gym pictures about making a comeback. Mom shared baby pictures. Dad kept cheering Jet on. I kept working. Hard. Very hard. A winter wellness brand hired me. They wanted cozy videos with hot cocoa, blankets, and face masks. I made 15-second videos in my apartment with ring lights and a fake fireplace app. The brand emailed me, engagement up 40%. Then came the bonus. $80,000 all at once. I almost cried. I called Callum and said, "How do I keep this safe from my family?" He smiled and said, "Set up an LLC." We met at a dockside bar. He showed me paperwork. I signed for Grey Wave LLC. Monday I looked at yacht listings. A big 48-foot boat was for sale. I sent the deposit. The broker was shocked because most people don't buy boats with cash. 10 days later the boat was mine. I took a ferry to Martha's Vineyard with Callum. The boat inspector said everything looked good. I signed papers. I owned the whole thing. I named it Gray Gray. Then I started fixing it up. New wooden decks. New kitchen. Lights everywhere. Leather seats. Blackout curtains. A cozy bed. A small work desk. Big monitors. Fingerprint locks. Facial recognition locks. A phone app that warns me if someone messes with the boat. The workers laughed because I actually helped fix things with my own hands. And that brings us back to the day my family stormed the marina with a man who tried to break into my boat. They had fake papers. They had tools. They had anger. But what they didn't have, had any idea what they were about to find inside that cabin. Final week focused on tech. That means I spent the last week making sure every gadget on the boat worked the way it should. A Starlink dome sat on the tall radar arch like a shiny white hat. 4 security cameras were placed carefully around the boat. They could even see at night. Little motion sensors were connected to the same fingerprint panel so only people with permission could get inside. Callum, who helped me with boat rules and safety things, did a pretend break-in test. He tried to push open the sliding door to the inside room, the salon. In only 30 seconds the alarm started yelling loudly. The marina office called right away to check if everything was okay. That showed us that the system really worked. I paid the boatyard bill. It was $22,000 in total. Luckily, my company, Grey Wave LLC, still had enough money in the checking account so I didn't feel stressed about the cost. I stood on the swim platform at the back of the boat. The salty air felt sharp and cool on my face. Workers were putting the nameplate on the back of the boat. The gray letters of Gray Gray shone brightly under the tall floodlights. Callum gave my shoulder a friendly pat. "She's yours now, all paid for," he said. "Register her under your company and use the Massachusetts flag. And remember, no one can come aboard without your fingerprint." I breathed out slowly. The tight, knotted feeling inside me finally loosened for the first time in years. That night I slept on the boat for the first time. The bed made tiny creaks as the boat moved gently. I could hear water tapping the sides of the hull. I didn't have to deal with family group chats or any parent-teacher or school helper jobs. It was just me, the tiny hum of the bilge pump, and my breathing. The first weekend in December I started the engines and moved Gray Gray out of the slip all by myself. The engines purred smoothly like happy cats. I didn't need any crew for my practice trip. I dropped anchor near Chappaquiddick, where the water was so flat it looked like a mirror made of glass. I placed my phone on a tripod that was bolted onto the rail so it wouldn't fall. The sun was going down and painted the whole sky orange and pink. I made one short video. I opened a bottle of fizzy drink, poured it into a plastic cup and leaned on the back of the boat. "Testing the new office," I said to the camera. Then I slowly moved the camera across the deck to show the boat. I didn't plan what I was going to say. I didn't write any script. I just did one simple take. That night I edited the clip inside the salon, trimmed it to 14 seconds and added tiny soft text at the top. It became my own little New Year's Eve video. I uploaded it before midnight. At first only a few people watched. Then the numbers began to rise. By morning the video had reached 1 million views. That was huge. A few companies sent me messages asking about working together. A wellness brand texted, "Congrats." On Monday morning the views reached 5 million. TikTok had put my video on the For You page across the whole country. Soon there were comments everywhere. People tagged their friends and asked which marina I was in. I pinned a comment saying the slip was private and by invitation only. At 9:42 a.m. Jet, my brother, sent a message. "Cute boat sis. Still not as good as Marin's. New York is at the club. Don't embarrass us asking to get in." I read it twice. My finger hovered over my phone. Then I typed, "Already got plans. Enjoy the club." I pressed send and then blocked his number. I blocked mom's number and dad's number too. Their group chat stopped for me. I didn't see any of their messages anymore. But my video kept blowing up. A yacht broker in Florida even used my video in a boat listing. A local news channel made a story about influencer boat life. I turned off all notifications except work emails. I wanted quiet. On Tuesday I filled the fuel tanks, checked the weather. It looked clear for the whole holiday week. Stocked the kitchen with foods that wouldn't spoil, grabbed extra batteries and added portable chargers. Every time I stepped on the boat, the fingerprint panel blinked green to show I was allowed in. On Wednesday the video started getting stitches, which are videos where other people copy or connect to your video. Some used beers instead of fizzy drinks. Some made jokes. Comedians made funny duets. Travelers asked if I could share the coordinates of the pretty place I anchored. I didn't answer. I let the algorithm keep spinning on its own. On Thursday a video production company emailed and asked if they could film sponsored content on my boat. I asked for triple the usual rate through my company, Grey Wave LLC. They agreed and sent a deposit that very same day. Jet then tried messaging me through Instagram stories. He posted a gym mirror picture with the words, "Real wins don't need filters." I took a screenshot, saved it and moved on. On Friday I checked all the boat systems, bilge pumps, navigation lights and the radio. Everything worked perfectly. The marina office left a voicemail saying my winter slip was confirmed through March. I called back and paid the fee. On Saturday the video hit 8 million views. TikTok said I would be getting creator money soon. I moved the money straight into the LLC bank account. Jet's wife, Mara, posted a baby ultrasound on the family account. She didn't mention me. That was fine. I spent the afternoon polishing the shiny brass pieces, rolling up ropes neatly and putting labels on storage boxes. The boat felt like a cozy, quiet home. A place that was only mine. That evening the wind shifted. I raced the anchor and guided the boat back to Edgartown. I docked smoothly and tied the lines in less than 5 minutes. The Emmet lights made pretty reflections on the water. A brand representative called about a last-minute holiday deal. I took the call from the flybridge with my feet up, my notebook open. We finished the deal in 10 minutes. Night came cold. I made hot tea in the kitchen and watched my video reach 10 million views. Comments were now about New Year's Eve. People booking tables and flights. I sipped tea, scrolled quietly and made my own private plans. Nothing big. Nothing public. Jet texted again from a new number. "Dad says, bring the boat to the club dock. We'll handle security." I deleted the text, blocked the number and turned off my phone. The Emmet stayed calm. Only soft metal clinks from boat masts moved the air. I locked the cabin door and went to bed. Sleep came fast. 10 minutes after posting the clip, an email arrived from a strange address Jet used for gym promotions. The message said, "Boat's cute but New York needs space for 50. Dock it at the club. We'll take over." I wrote back, "Not available. and marked the email as spam. Mom sent another message from the family email. Family traditions, Sloan. Victor booked the band. Bring the yacht. I saved it without answering. Dad left a voicemail with the marina office. Staff sent me the audio. His voice said, "This isn't a request. Marin's name opens doors. Park at the club slip by Friday or we'll handle things ourselves." I played it for Callum. He shook his head. "This is pressure. But the marina is private and follows rules. File a no-docking order today." So we wrote it in his office on gray wave letterhead. It said that no one else had permission to dock my boat. It listed the state law. I signed it. Callum emailed it to the marina manager and Emmett Master. The manager said the order was logged. No one could dock my boat without me saying yes. Jet used a burner email again that night. The subject said NYE plan. There was a guest list, a fancy menu and a fireworks permit. It said the slip was already assigned. I moved it to junk. The next morning a courier brought an envelope to the marina office. Inside was a fake docking paper with a pretend signature that looked like mine but not really. The Emmett Master refused it immediately because the family trust wasn't real and the dates didn't match my company papers. Callum looked at the fake paper. "This is badly done," he said. He wrote a letter saying they had to stop sending fake documents. He also told the police records unit and sent the letter by certified mail. Dad's assistant emailed from the real estate company. "Club expects the boat. Sponsors ready. Confirmed today." I let Callum answer. "Permission denied. See attached order." Mara sent a message next. "Jet is stressed. Baby is due soon. Please let us use the boat for one night." I texted back, "Congrats on the baby. The answer is still no." Callum saved every message and lined them up by date. "They push harder each time," he said. "We keep proof." Jet left another voicemail at the marina. Then he left a message with the dockmaster. "Tell Sloan the family needs the boat. Dad's blood pressure is high." The staff typed the message and emailed it to me. I saved it. Mom sent a handwritten card saying, "Think of your brother's future." I took a photo of it and saved it too. Callum filed the no-docking order with the county clerk so it became public record. It cost $40. The marina posted a laminated sign on the gate. Gray private vessel. No unauthorized docking. I checked the docks twice each day. The staff said everything looked normal. Dad's assistant sent another fake document, this time a pretend rental contract with my name and company stamp copied badly. Callum reported it to the state office that handles consumer protection. The Emmett Master texted, "Another fake reservation attempt under your name. Denied." Jet sent one last email. "You'll regret this." Callum saved it in the harassment file. A week before New Year's Eve I tested the alarm again. The marina called back in 90 seconds. Callum came by with takeout dinner. "Everything is strong," he said. "If they show up, the record is clear." I nodded and ate. On New Year's Eve at 7 p.m. the temperature was 28 degrees. From the flybridge I saw Dad's black SUV enter the parking lot. The headlights cut through fog. Jet jumped out first. Mara followed slowly in a big puffy coat. Mom carried a bag of decorations. A man I didn't know carried a heavy tool bag. They walked down the dock like they owned the place. Dad waved a paper. "Sloan, open up. Party starts in an hour." I stayed where I was recording. "Please leave," I said. "The order is active." Jet ignored me and stepped onto the gangway. The fingerprint panel blinked red at his touch. He hit the door. "Turn off this silly lock." The stranger kneeled and took out a device from his tool bag. He tried to mess with the lock but the lights blinked and relocked tighter. Mara pulled Jet's sleeve. "This is too much. Stop." Jet shook her off. "It's family property. Back me up." Mom placed the big tote bag down on the cold dock. "Sloan, think about the guests," she said, trying to sound calm. The bottle of cold champagne was still sitting in the car. Dad had his phone on speaker calling someone important or at least pretending to. "The security team is already on board," he said, acting like everything was under control. "We need help." But nobody answered the call. Dad wasn't telling the truth. He was bluffing, pretending he had people coming to back him up. I pressed the marina's emergency button. A huge, loud siren began howling from the office. Bright white dock lights flashed on and lit up everything like daytime. Officer Landon drove in quickly in a police truck. His boots made crunchy sounds on the icy ground as he walked toward us. "Good evening," he said. "We got a report about people being here without permission." Dad shoved his fake papers at the officer. "We have a reservation," Dad said. Landon looked at the papers for a moment, then shook his head. "These were denied weeks ago," he said. "The marina already has official papers from the LLC. Please step back." But Jet rushed toward the control panel again. "It's my sister's boat toy. We're taking it," he shouted like a child who wasn't getting his way. Mara's face twisted in worry and embarrassment. "The baby's kicking so much," she whispered. "This is too stressful." "Be quiet, Mara." "Not now," Jet snapped at her. Mara zipped up her coat tightly around her body. She looked tired and angry and cold all at once. "I'm done," she said loudly. She walked quickly down the gangway. Her high heels made sharp clicking popping sounds with every step. She climbed into the Suburban, slammed the door hard and didn't look back. Mom ran after her, calling, "Honey, wait." But Mara didn't stop. Jet kept messing with the control device, jabbing buttons angrily. Officer Landon stepped right between Jet and the panel. "Sir," Landon said firmly, "stop now or you will be detained." A stranger who had been standing near the shadows, watching everything, quickly packed his things. He muttered something about warrants and slipped away into the dark. Dad raised his voice even more. "This is harassment. I know the police chief." But Landon was already calling for backup on his radio. "Possible trespassing at the gray slip," he said. Finn, the captain I hired to help with repairs, climbed out of the engine room. He was holding his phone up, live streaming everything so there would be proof. "Jet, notice you're being recorded," he said. "Turn that off." Jet yelled. But Landon blocked him. "No," Landon said. "Recording is allowed in public places." Another officer arrived. His flashlight moved over every person, every rope, every railing. "Everyone off the vessel," he ordered. Dad argued so loudly that his face turned red. He yelled, begged, and even let out tears. Jet muttered angry words under his breath. Officer Landon stayed calm and serious. "Leave now or I will issue citations," he said. Slowly they backed away. Dad walked last, glaring at me like all of this was my fault. Mara turned on the Suburban and drove off without waiting for any of them. The tires spun little stones into the air as she went. Finn kept recording until the whole family climbed into Dad's truck. The red tail lights faded into the dark parking lot. Officer Landon walked over to me. "Come in tomorrow and file a report," he said. "We'll keep an extra watch tonight." I nodded and let out a long breath of cold air. "Thank you," I told him. He tipped his hat and left. Finn put his phone away. "I got everything. Faces are clear. Sound is perfect. This could hit 10 million views by morning," he said. I shook my head. "Keep it. It's evidence first," I told him. He locked the boat door. The Emmet grew quiet again with only the sound of ice bumping softly against the boats. At midnight, fireworks burst above the dark water. Finn raised a plastic cup of sparkling cider. "To own your space," he said. We clinked our cups on the fly bridge. Soft music played from inside the boat. At 12:05, Finn uploaded the video. He added simple captions like, "Neutral. Private property is respected." The views shot up right away. By 2 a.m. more than 10 million people had watched it. Comments came fast. People cheering, people angry, people making memes. On January 2nd, Dad tried to sue, saying he had a family right to the gray wave stuff. Callum, our lawyer, showed the real LLC papers and the marina's fingerprint scans. The judge ended the case quickly. Dad had no legal standing. He even had to pay court costs for wasting time. On January 5th, Mara handed Jet divorce papers. She said they couldn't fix things anymore. She moved to her sister's home in Boston with her baby ultrasound kept private. Jet texted me from a bar. "You ruined everything." I deleted the whole app. Mom mailed a long letter that mixed apology with blaming me. I wrote "return to sender" and mailed it back. Dad's business reviews crashed overnight. Sponsors left him. His New Year videos were taken down. Callum closed the file and said Dad could get punished if he tried to sue again. In February, I took the gray out alone to Nantucket. No posts, no guests, no noise, just peace. Aunt Tessa called once. "I'm proud of you, Gray. Blood doesn't make loyalty, she said. I blocked all family emails, threw away old photos and changed my emergency contacts to just Callum. I learned to depend on myself. That became the real inheritance. No trust fund, no family money, just the boat under my feet and choices that I could finally control.